My fellow Armenians and friends of justice, today we honor the victims of the Armenian Genocide, but also Christian genocide perpetrated 111 years ago by the Ottoman Empire. Around 1.5 million Armenians and hundreds of thousands Greeks, Assyrians, and other Christian minorities fell victim to the horrific atrocities through forced death marches and systematic massacres. Unfortunately, many people still shy away from calling the events by their name, including many leaders of great countries. But it's important to talk about it, it's important to remember, because only through full recognition is it even possible to process the despicable tragedy and to ensure that it will never happen again in the future to any nation. Many countries have already recognized the genocide as such, and if there are some countries that did not, it is mainly due to political reasons. But in this context, there is no way around to also talk about the current political situation in our homeland. And you know what they will tell you for people who talk like me? Oh, he's weaponizing the victims. No. I'm not weaponizing. Like calling out the enemies from within and the evildoers of today is not weaponizing the victims of yesterday. This type of people that are in charge of our country have nothing in common with our forefathers, thinkers, and founders of today's independent Armenian Republic. They have nothing in common with our church fathers and with those who brought the history of the Armenian Apostolic Church and the Armenian history in general into the 21st century. They have desecrated and shamed the Armenian Apostolic Church in front of the eyes of the world by decree of the, can you believe it, Aliyev regime. They have dishonored everything that we hold sacred only to appease to people who do not have good intentions for us. The most embarrassing moment occurred when J.D. Vance, the Vice President of the United States, during his visit in Armenia, visited the Genocide Memorial. Can you believe it? Not a single top-level government official accompanied him to the memorial. Only a third-class minister, a woman, that wasn't even in the footage. She was literally hiding behind the tree. As for the genocide, and I know a lot of you guys are descendants of genocide survivors, and if you find yourself somehow still supporting this guy, and look, I'm not saying that he will not make some type of statement and he will not visit the Genocide Memorial to not lose some voters for the upcoming election. But keep this in mind. The guy already set a precedent a couple of months ago during a government briefing when he was watering down the fact of the genocide by basically adopting the Turkish narrative. Oh, we still have to understand what really happened. We still have to count the exact number of victims. If we wouldn't do this or that, they probably wouldn't kill us by millions. That's what he was saying. My dear Armenians, our country is heading to the most decisive election cycle, probably in the history of our country. Nikol Pashinyan and his, gang, have jailed the main opposition leader for now 10 months. Basically for nothing. The only reason they put him in jail and censored him is to be able to vilify, slander him, and to take away the opportunity from him to respond to the smear campaign. And you know what his crime was? It was only because he publicly offered his support and stood by the side of the Armenian Apostolic Church against the unholy attacks of this betrayal government. And let me tell you what the accusations are. And I hope you don't fall for this. Because it's the same old playbook of Russia, Russia, Russia. This is the logic they are trying to force us into. By saying, oh, it's about pro-Russian and pro-Western political cause. But let me tell you this. It's not, okay? It's really about being or not being. It's really about keeping sovereignty or becoming a vassal state of Azerbaijan. And this is what will happen if this guy somehow manages to stay in office. This is his political course. My fellow Armenians, especially in the diaspora, this guy has divided our nation and we have the right to get involved. As far as I'm concerned, and look, I'm just a simple guy like each one of you, but I'm not gonna sit here and watch how these low-life individuals continue dishonoring our national values and everything that we hold sacred. And you shouldn't either. Don't let the moral pressure affect you and silence you. Because as I already said, these are not the type of people that have anything in common with the Armenian cause. Think of it this way. If our nation had enough people like this throughout the centuries, we wouldn't even arrive to the 21st century in the first place. These are not the type of people that are going to tell us to not get involved. We have the right and the duty to support our brothers and sisters that are carrying out the political fight in our homeland. And you have to start raising your voice and fight back against the information war that they are running against everything Armenian. Remember, if only a few people raise their voice, they're going to use the rest of you guys just because you're silent. And believe me, he's not going to use you for good intentions. In this election cycle, the victory has to be too big to rig. Does that sound familiar? Everything else is a great risk for our nation's existence. If Nikol Pashinyan somehow manages to stay in office, and if people fall for this liar again, everything is going to be over. And I'm not exaggerating. This is the last chance of saving Armenia from this national traitor and from the enemies from within. Thank you.